Welcome to Malifaux University. 630. Special Strategy, Bah Humbug. Not everyone is happy when the Christmas season rolls around each year. Ebenezer Scrooge scoffed at the notion of generosity and goodwill with his famous exclamation, Bah Humbug! And now, 'tis the season for us all to proclaim, Bah Humbug! With this special strategy you can find in the Crew Builder app by setting the rule set to All. Before the game, you need to make 4 50mm strategy markers, one for each suit of rams, crows, masks, and tomes. You also need to make a single missile token that will be placed on the strategy markers. The missile token can be as simple as a coin or even a 30mm base, but you could also use a peppermint candy or something else thematic for fun. Easy printable strategy markers and tokens are available from the link to Wargames Vault in the notes below. You put the 4 strategy markers on the center line. 2 go 4 inches away from the center point, and then the other 2 go 12 inches from the center point. They don't have to be in any order, and it really doesn't matter which marker goes where. When the strategy markers are in place, complete deployment as normal. To complete the setup, the attacker discards the top card of her fate deck and places the missile token on the strategy marker that matches the suit of the card. If the attacker discards either joker, she may choose any of the strategy markers. You should also have a notepad and pen nearby so you can keep track of this strategy during the game. These strategy markers are height 3, blocking, and impassable. Impassable means models cannot move through them unless the model has the incorporeal ability, flight, or something similar. You also cannot overlap the base of a model or other marker with these impassable strategy markers. Height and blocking means that they block line of sight for any model size 3 or shorter that draws line of sight through the marker. This also creates a shadow of 3 inches around the marker, which provides cover to any model within the shadow when another model can successfully target that model with a projectile attack. Other non-melee ranged attacks are not affected though. Cover adds +1 to the defense trait of the targeted model and imposes a negative modifier on any damage flips resulting from the projectile attack. You play Bah Humbug by moving the missile token from one strategy marker to another. You can move it in 3 ways. A friendly controlled model in base contact with the strategy marker with the missile token takes the interact action. All regular rules about interact apply normally in this strategy. A model kills an enemy model that is within 2 inches of the strategy marker with the missile token. A model within 2 inches of the strategy marker with the missile token kills an enemy model regardless of where that enemy model is. Note that when it comes to killing an enemy model, it does not say it has to be through enemy actions, just that an enemy model must be killed. So if your model has an obey type action it can use to compel an enemy model to kill one of its crewmates, that could fulfill the requirements for moving the missile token if either one is close enough when the killing takes place. No matter how it happens, when it is time to move the missile token, the player moving it discards the top of her fate deck and moves the missile token to the strategy marker that matches the suit of the discarded card. Just like in the game setup, if the discarded card is either joker, that player may choose any of the strategy markers to receive the missile token. Note that since this strategy says the player discards the top card of the fate deck and doesn't flip it, this process cannot be cheated from the player's control hand. Remember that models with summon upgrades or tokens cannot interact and don't count for friendly schemes or strategies for the turn they are summoned. If you summon a model near a strategy marker, it won't be able to interact that turn and won't count for killing an enemy model if it does so within 2 inches of the missile token. Since this strategy uses the gaining grounds rules though, those summoned models will not be able to interact with the strategy markers in any turn as long as they have their summon upgrades or tokens. Since it's only friendly schemes and strategies that are frustrated by the summoning though, you might summon a model near the missile token that your opponent kills and counts for the strategy. At the end of each turn after the first, each player may choose any strategy marker she has not already chosen for this strategy. If that player moved the missile token off that strategy marker this turn, she gains the victory point. This is why you may want the notepad for keeping track of the missile token's movement. One recommended way would look like this. All 4 strategy markers are drawn out with their suits. Player A moves the missile token from rams to masks, represented by this arrow on player A's side and the number 1. Player B moves the missile token from masks to crows, represented by this arrow on player B's side and the number 2. Player B moves the missile token from crows to tomes, represented by another arrow and the number 3. At the end of the turn, player A claims rams, since that was the only strategy marker she moved the missile token from, while player B can choose either masks or crows. She chooses crows because why not? Player A cannot score with rams again, and player B cannot score with crows again. Draw a new diagram for the next turn and keep going. Regardless of how many times you move the missile token, you still cannot earn more than 1 victory point from this strategy per turn. Let's see this in action. Rasputina's December crew, naturally, is facing off against Bo Peep's Bayou crew with the Bah Humbug strategy. The missile token is on the strategy marker with the mask, and Rasputina is nearby. One of the slop haulers thought he'd be clever by summoning a piglet with his Here Pig bonus action, removing this Arcanist scheme marker. Rasputina then activates, destroying the newly summoned piglet with her Winter's Strike projectile attack while she is within 2 inches of the strategy marker. She discards the top of her fate deck, revealing a ram, and moves the missile token to the ram marker. There's a Horcat near the ram strategy marker, and Bo Peep activates. Between her ramming speed and stampede abilities and barbed whip attack action, she makes mincemeat of the Horcat. Since the Horcat was within 2 inches of the missile token when it was killed, the Bayou player discards the top of his fate deck, revealing another ram. The missile token stays put where it is. If the Bayou crew do not move the missile token off the strategy marker, they will not be able to score this strategy this turn. To take care of that, Ruffles runs over to the strategy marker with his 7 movement stat and takes the interact action. He discards a tome off the top of his fate deck and moves the strategy marker there. At the end of the turn, the Arcanists claim the mask since they moved the missile token off of it, and the Bayou claim the ram, having successfully moved the missile token off of that one. Going forward, the Arcanists cannot claim the mask strategy marker again, and the Bayou cannot claim the ram again, regardless of how often the missile token moves on or off those strategy markers. In the next turn, the missile token is on the tome strategy marker, and there are 2 more Horcats lurking nearby, one of which is down to just 2 health. One of the Hog Whisperers uses his Herd'em action on the stronger of the 2 beasts. When he wins the duel, he compels it to attack its brother with its claws. The Bayou player flips all the cards for the attacking model, winning the duels and doing enough damage to kill the other. Since an enemy model was killed within 2 inches of the missile token, the Bayou player now discards the top of his fate deck. It's a mask, so the missile token goes back there, which won't help the Arcanists. At the end of the turn, the Bayou will claim the tome and the victory point, but we'll have to wait and see if the Arcanists can move the missile token off the mask and again off another strategy marker. Let us know in the comments below how your game turns out when you play. That's the special strategy, Bah Humbug. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargames Vault. If you haven't already, join our Patreon for early, ad-free access to all new content, and be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.